Manifestation. You probably hear this term thrown left and right. It's not a woo-woo myth. You're actually manifesting every single day. If you're a bit skeptical still, or you're just trying to get really good at it, you're in the right place because I'm gonna walk you through every single time that I've manifested all of my major life goals, and I'll explain exactly what techniques I use to make all of these things happen. You're gonna need pen and paper for this. This includes earning a large scholarship to be able to study at the university that I wanted in the US, coming all the way from Peru, a high-paying job in New York City right after college and right after switching majors, landing my next job at one of the hardest companies in the world to get into, Google, and finally living and working remote from the city that I always wanted to live in, Miami. My goal here is to not only prove to you that manifestation works, but to show you that by applying certain manifestation techniques, you can do anything that you set your mind to. And stay till the end of the episode to find out what I'm currently working to manifest, because when I get there, you'll have even more proof that this actually works. But before we get into that, hi, my name is Talia. I'm a modern mystic, and my life's purpose is to help people just like you transcend your limiting beliefs so you can become a total badass and manifest your dream life. And if you're interested in learning how to transcend other areas of your life, don't forget to subscribe. Once upon a time, there was this little girl from Lima, Peru, who always followed the rules and did what was expected of her and perceived life to be this linear path. Get good grades in high school, attend your local university, and eventually you'll get a nice job from that and be happy. And then one day, she came across this movie, The Secret, and she thought, what is this witchcraft? She went and read a couple more books on the topic, including Think and Grow Rich and Mind Power into the 21st Century. And she learned that she had the power to create her own reality and attract anything that she wanted into her life using the power of visualization. So one day, she decided to put this into practice and created her first vision board to manifest a scholarship of $30,000 a year, the annual tuition, to be able to study at her dream university, the Savannah College of Art and Design. So she visualized for months, and she put together this little art portfolio, and she finally applied and received the much anticipated letter from the scholarship committee. The committee is pleased to award you an annual scholarship of $3,000. What the hell? That wasn't even close. But did I stop there? No, sir. I was at the time already attending college in Peru, so all I had done was put together a portfolio of the projects I had done in class, which were average art foundations projects. So after receiving this letter, I found out I could appeal to the scholarship. So I said, all right, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna build a smashing portfolio, but to be able to do this, I'm gonna have to drop out of college so I can go all in. And that will also give me time to explore other options so I can stack up scholarships. Really scary decision at the time. I had never done anything out of the norm. But I was like, I believe I can do this. So during this period of time, I learned that I could take SATs to get an academic scholarship. I learned that there was an opportunity scholarship for people from third world countries. And I went all in with my portfolio, doing amazing art projects that were really true to me. Once I submitted my application again, I was awarded a scholarship of $21,000 annually. So not exactly $30,000, but that was a lot. And for my first manifestation attempt, I'd say that was pretty good. And thanks to the very generous support of my parents that were able to cover the additional cost, I was able to study at my dream university, and they were literally some of the best years of my life. So now let's go through each of the techniques that I applied here. Number one, I believed in the possibility that I was capable of doing this. I didn't have anything at the time. I didn't have a solid portfolio. I wasn't good at math or reading comprehension to be able to score a high SAT, which I even didn't, but it was decent enough to give me some scholarship. The school was crazy expensive, like way outside of what my parents could even afford. All I had was a belief in myself and a belief that the universe will provide the answers to help me achieve my dreams. Number two, a clear intention. What is it that you want exactly? I wanted to go to this school. Not that cute other design school over there that was maybe more affordable. No, I wanted this school. So I focused all of my energies into applying and earning a scholarship from the Savannah College of Art and Design. 3, visualization. I created my little vision board and I put up pictures of the school, and I would imagine myself being there, and I would just feel the excitement of receiving the scholarship and celebrating that moment. And I would put on music that would hype me up, and every day I was really conscious of feeling that feeling of success. 4, resiliency. Sometimes it won't happen right away, but this is where you have to have that firm belief in yourself that it is possible and it still can happen for you. 5, after things didn't work out exactly how I wanted the first time, I expanded my awareness to look for alternative possibilities to see how I could still manifest this into my life. Fast forward a few years later, enter my second major manifestation. I was studying industrial design, which is mostly the design of 3D products, and the world of mobile apps was just starting to pop. So I thought I would kind of really like to work designing interfaces more so than I want to design 3D products. And luckily, there was a friend at school who had the same idea. He was 1 year older than me, and when he graduated, he went and landed a job in New York City earning $80K as a junior interaction designer. When I found out about this, I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. So once again, I crafted my portfolio to reflect my passion for connecting physical products with digital interfaces. Mind you, this was back in 2013. The Internet of Things wasn't really that mainstream, and user experience design wasn't even a formal industry term. But I put my mind into it that I was going to get a job as a UX designer in New York City. Right before I graduated from college, I received an email from a design agency that was pretty much offering me right there and then a UX design job in San Francisco. So at that point I was like, okay, it's not New York, but it's a really good design agency and this could be a good stepping stone for me. And then after I did not get hired after finishing the internship, which completely crushed my soul because I wanted so bad to be chosen, I received an email from their competitor, an amazing design agency in New York City, who ended up offering me a full-time job, earning $80K as a junior UX designer. Technique number 1, follow your heart/your passions. They are connected to your intuition. They are guiding you on the direction that you're supposed to go, your soul's purpose. So pay attention. Number 2, notice the expanders in your life. These are the people who are already living that life that you want, who are already achieving the goals that you set out for yourself. Basically, these people are showing you what's possible. They are the embodiment of the frequency that you want to get to. So study them carefully. What about them draws you in? How can you embody that energy? Practice it. Number 3, recognize stepping stones. You have to learn to follow the flow of life. If you get too stuck on thinking that things have to be a certain way, if I hadn't accepted that internship in San Francisco, I wouldn't have had that big name of this design agency on my resume, on my LinkedIn profile. So likely I wouldn't have been picked up on by the other agency in New York City. In a way, you can see how this one thing led me to that other thing, which is what I really wanted to manifest. Enter my third major manifestation. This one is the wildest one of all, and to be honest, I'll probably have to make a dedicated episode for this because there was so much that went into it. But the key thing that I want to highlight about this is that I never really intended to go to Google. For me, Google was, that place where the geniuses work, that is so out of reach. At the time, I was living in New York City on a work visa, and my goal was really to move back to San Francisco because, frankly, I ended up not liking New York City that much, and advertising also didn't feel like the right fit for me, so I wanted to transition to tech. But I needed a company that would still be able to sponsor my visa, and that was the really difficult part. But as usual, I said, there's always a way, so I started applying to jobs here and there, until one day I was contacted by a recruiter from Google. And at that moment, I froze. Because at that moment, I knew that I would never forgive myself if I didn't at least try. So while I was interviewing with Google, I was interviewing with some other companies because, well, I didn't really fully believe that Google would work out. But rather than a vision board, I made a little drawing of San Francisco and I put a date on top of it, which was the date that I wanted to move by. And after being rejected by multiple companies, with everything taking such a toll on my mental health, by the way, I'm thankful to Headspace for introducing me to meditation at this point, because I really needed something to soothe my stress. I got to the point where I was like, I need to take a step back. I need to take care of my mental health. I said to myself, I'll continue interviewing eventually, but at a slower rhythm because this pace is ruining me. And even if Google doesn't work out, I know I'll be okay. So in a way, I kind of let go. Keyword here. And just 2 weeks later, Google makes me an offer. And exactly 1 week after the date that I had written on my little drawing, I moved to San Francisco. Here's a photo that I took at the exact place from my drawing after I had moved because I just really wanted to go up there and celebrate this special moment. If you're on podcast, you can see this drawing on my YouTube video. And not only did Google sponsor the work visa that I had at the time, they also ended up sponsoring my green card. So at the end, this turned out even better than what I was originally going for. Now, let's go over the techniques. Number 1, override limiting beliefs. Even though I didn't really fully believe that Google was possible for me, there was some level of belief within me that kept me going, that kept me trying and putting myself together whenever I was dreading with nerves before the interviews. Number 2, do your best. I got rejected from so many companies, but every time I would go back and take the learning and then figure out how I could do better on the next interview. Number 3, This might be the most important technique out of all the ones that I've mentioned, and that is to detach from the outcome. While I was interviewing with all of these different places, it was a span of about 8 to 10 months when things were not working out for me, because every interview that I would do, I was so attached to that company working out that it just created this resistance, so then I wouldn't get it. And notice that Google worked out really shortly after I had fully let go of this attachment of having to be in San Francisco right away. It happened right as I started accepting where I am and being grateful for what I did have rather than focusing on what I didn't have and the interviews that were not working out. So in a way, it's like I took my power back, and once I did that, the manifestation came through. Last one, and kind of a bonus manifestation, but an important one, because what I want to highlight here is how much manifestation is a co-creation process with the universe. So about 3 years into living in San Francisco, I now realize that I wanted to move to Miami because culturally, as a Latina, it just made more sense for me. So I told myself, I'm gonna figure out a way to move to Miami and continue working remotely for Google. Mind you, this is early 2019. Remote work wasn't really mainstream back then. So I tried having some conversations here and there. Nothing was really working out. So I decided to let it go. And I said, I'll figure it out when the time is right. And just about 5 months later, we get hit with a freaking pandemic. And we were suddenly allowed to work remote. And the very moment that I saw tech companies going remote, I was like, peace out, San Francisco, I'm out. Google didn't formally allow their employees to permanently work remote until about 1 year after I made the decision to move. But I just had an intuitive feeling that it was gonna work out, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna follow that. So the main technique here is embracing co-creation with the universe. There is sometimes a divine timing to things, so we have to allow things to unfold at the right time. But also, you have to act when you feel like the time is right. You have to act when you feel it in your gut, and you have to avoid getting held back by what other people say, what your friends say, what your parents say. A lot of them are going to be speaking from their own fears or their own limited beliefs, so you have to trust what feels right for you. Now, let's go over every single technique that I've outlined in this episode. 1. Believe in possibility. Believe that you are worthy of receiving what you want. 2. Have a clear intention of what exactly it is that you want. 3. Visualize yourself already living that life and feel the emotion of what it already feels like to be living that. Embody it. 4. Be resilient when things don't work out exactly the way you want it the first time, the second time, even the third time. 5. Expand your awareness to look for alternative possibilities that can make your manifestation come through. 6. Follow your intuition. 7. Carefully study your expanders. 8. Notice stepping stones and take action. 9. Overwrite limiting beliefs. Observe the doubt, know it's there, keep going. 10. Always do your best. Take the learning, do better next time. 11. Detach from the outcome. And finally, embrace a co-creation with the universe. I am currently manifesting building up my own business. I decided as of last week pretty much that I'm going all in, and I wanted to be on record because there's no looking back. Once you decide what you truly want, you can't be changing your mind. You have to become that version of you. So now I have all of you to keep me accountable and see firsthand how this unfolds. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was useful, and I hope it inspires you to go after all of your dreams. If you're interested in learning how to raise your frequency so you can manifest even faster, I recommend you watch or listen to one of my previous episodes on how I made a quantum jump, where I explain how in an instant I was able to change my energy completely and I started living a completely different life. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And if you'd like to stay in the loop about any exciting updates in the future, make sure to sign up to my mailing list, link in the description, and you'll have some good stuff coming your way very soon. Much love.